I really want to start out this homeschool year a little bit ahead of the game, and so having some food in the freezer, some dinners that I can just pop out and throw in the slow cooker in the morning, I know that it is going to help those first few weeks of school. I am sure you have heard of Jamerrill Stewart. I bought her big batch freezer meal guide, and today I'm going to be cooking my way through 30 easy freezer meals in about 2 hours. Back to school season is in full swing, and here in our home I am going to work on some freezer meals. I really want to start out this homeschool year a little bit ahead of the game, and so having some food in the freezer, some dinners that I can just pop out and throw in the slow cooker in the morning, I know that it is going to help those first few weeks of school. So in case you're new around here, hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a homeschooling mom to 5 kiddos. They range in age from preschool all the way up through high school. And today I'm going to be cooking my way through Jamerrill Stewart's 30 easy freezer meals in about 2 hours. Now, let me say this first of all, this is pack 1 in her guide, and I'm not making 30 freezer meals. I'm only going to make 10. In this pack, she gives you 10 different recipes, and then you could make them each 3 times, meaning 30 freezer meals. I'm just going to make each recipe once. A couple reasons for that. First of all, we just bought an entire side of beef from my brother, so my freezer space is a little bit low at the moment just because of all of that. Also, my budget. I didn't exactly have money to front for 30 dinners. I did have it in my budget for our groceries to go ahead and buy 10. So on our list here today is going to be teriyaki chicken, chicken and dumplings, jalapeno popper soup, General Tso's chicken or General Chow's chicken. How do you say that? I don't know. General TSO's chicken, chicken Caesar wraps, rosemary garlic chicken, steak fajita bowls, which I haven't quite decided. I'm going to see how much chicken I have left. I might sub in chicken and make chicken fajita bowls, but some type of fajita bowls, whether they're steak or chicken, we'll see. Italian beef sandwiches, broccoli beef that I'm thinking I could serve over rice, and then lastly, easy creamy ranch pork chops. 10 freezer meals that I'm going to try to do in about the next 2 hours, which it's quiet time here. Mid-afternoon. So I'm gonna try to get this done before I throw in frozen pizza for dinner, because it's Friday and we do frozen pizza on Fridays. So I've already started getting some stuff out in the kitchen, and I'm just gonna roll up my sleeves and get busy making all of these meals. Finally done cleaning and chopping up all of the raw chicken. I did not video a lot of that because personally I would not want to watch somebody chopping raw chicken on a YouTube video, but it took an astronomical amount of my time. I'm hoping things from here on are going to go a little bit quicker. I'm also very, very picky when it comes to chicken. I like to get it very just so, and so it probably took me a little longer than maybe it would take you. So a few shortcuts you're going to notice here in this process is, first of all, I am using chicken bouillon in water instead of chicken broth. I did not have enough chicken broth for all of these recipes, so that's what I had on hand. The other thing I did is I picked up a big bag of peeled garlic from Aldi. Almost all of these recipes call for garlic in some form, and I just did not have the time or patience to peel that much garlic this afternoon. So my Pampered Chef tool came to the rescue and really just helped to mince up all this garlic. Oh yeah, and I also bought some ginger at Aldi as well. Chicken and dumplings was probably the recipe that required the most chopping and took the most time. I did go ahead and pick up some hand-pulled rotisserie chicken from Costco. You can see it over there. Again, this is a shortcut. You could just use regular chopped up raw chicken breasts, but I decided to just, save time on this one. Also, I only had baby carrots on hand. Those substitute in just fine. So you'll see I have a lot of things that maybe little tweaks that I'm doing in these recipes, and that just goes to show how much Jamerrill Stewart's recipes are flexible and easy to fit your family. Yeah, I've got some helpers here in the background as well. But I love her recipes because you can make them fit your diet and you can make them fit what you have on hand. They're just really, really flexible. Yes, if you are ever chopping hot peppers, be sure to put on a latex or plastic glove. It will save your hand from being burnt. Now, these peppers were not too hot, but I was just being on the safe side. I've paid the price for that one before. Now, I'm really excited to try this jalapeno popper soup. I don't know that my littles are going to love it, but I think the older kids and I and Justin will really enjoy it. Ava wanted to get in on the action of freezer cooking this afternoon, so tried to come up with a couple tasks that she could help with, like putting the butter on top of the raw chicken. Now, I also do not tend to measure, but I tend to eyeball a lot of things, especially in freezer cooking dump and go bags like this. All right, check out my Vanna White skills. I'm basically just trying to show you that it's really important to label your bags. Oh, there's Ezra helping me again. But making sure to put a bunch of writing on your bags so that in a month or two, when I decide to throw this in the crock pot, I can remember what items like cornstarch or water need added in with this recipe. This is fermented chili pepper sauce that I made from the garden. That's why I was showing that off there. And again, substituting in, I didn't have tomato paste, so I'm putting in ketchup. I didn't have hoisin sauce, so I used Japanese barbecue sauce. Again, such flexible recipes, which is one of the many reasons why I love Large Family Table. Ava has been begging for me to let her use my citrus juicer, so she was super excited to help with the lemon juice on this recipe. This one was actually one of the really easy recipes in the pack because you add and do more things on your cooking day than you actually do on your freezer day. It's always fun to shop your garden for a recipe, so grabbing some rosemary and parsley out of the herb garden for this freezer meal was just so much fun. My herbs have been exploding this summer. I actually went ahead and bought a dehydrator just to kind of start working on drying out some of them to store for the winter. It's been a fun little side project, and I've learned a lot through the process. Now, this recipe, I'm planning on making this probably with some potatoes and green beans on the day that I serve it. All right, this recipe was another one that had a good bit of chopping in it, but peppers, onions, cilantro tend to go pretty quickly. Now, I did have enough of those chicken tenders left over that I did go ahead and decide to sub in chicken for steak on this recipe, but I think it would be good with anything. You could put shrimp, you could put pork, you could put all kinds of things in these fajitas, and they would be a great crock pot freezer meal. Isn't it fun to watch me struggle with beef? Yeah, I had this beef already frozen in my deep freezer, and I just took it out and ran it under some cold water enough to loosen it out of the package, but transferring it from one package to my Ziploc bag was, a little bit of a juggle here. Now, this recipe kind of reminds me of Mississippi pot roast, which is a favorite in our household, but instead it's kind of, like making it on Italian sandwiches instead. So I think this is definitely going to be a winner. And you'll see here, this is when not measuring bites me in the butt because I put way too much pepper in this recipe and ended up having to scoop some of it back out. Yeah, so see, use your measuring spoons, guys. Here's another recipe where I'm subbing in maple syrup for brown sugar. You could use honey or regular syrup, whatever you want. And I'm using low sodium soy sauce here. You could also use coconut aminos, and I think that would sub in just fine. Now, again, I had some steak already in the freezer ready for this recipe, so this one was pretty easy. This is broccoli and beef. The day I get this out of the freezer, I'll also grab a few of my bags of frozen broccoli to throw in the crock pot as well. All right, guys, last recipe. These are those ranch pork chops, and it calls for cream of mushroom soup, which I always make by hand. I don't use the canned version of this. It's just, butter and cream and mushrooms and some spices and flour on the stove. It takes like 3 minutes. So I think this will be yet another winner. Easy, just, ranch and cream of mushroom soup with pork chops. Yum. Okay guys, well thanks so much for cooking along with me today. I hope that this has inspired you to maybe throw a few freezer meals into your freezers for back to school season, just to kind of help you get your school year off on the right foot. As always, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and stick around. I have a bunch of new content coming out this fall. All right guys, I'll see you later.